So the NHLPA could have put in what's called the elevator to bump up the salary cap. They decided not to do that. There is a high amount of escrow right now. What's escrow, you ask? Well, for some of the not hardcore fans, escrow is a fund. It's basically like, it'd be like you going to work and you're making X amount of money, and then you get your paycheck and you go, this seems kind of light. And they say, yeah, we're holding back 20% of your money. I guess 15, 20%. I know the escrow's changed. We're holding back X amount of your money. And at the end of the year, we're going to look over how much money we made, and if we made enough money, then you'll get it. If we didn't make enough money, you'll get some of it. If we didn't make enough at all, you're not getting any of it. Hockey players have been mad about the escrow. My problem with it is this. Why is it in the CBA then? It's the Olympics all over again. Players get mad about things that are in a CBA that they signed, that they ratified. And again, it shows that players will always say, we'll die before there's salary cap, escrow, restrictions on free agency. But in the end, the owners always seem to get what they want. And then the owners end up crying and locking them out again, which is weird. The salary cap staying where it is means the teams that have cap space are now in the driver's seat going into the summer. And for a team like, that's right, I'm wearing the caps because I had anticipated the salary cap going up. I anticipated about a $3 million bump. And I thought, you know what, that $3 million bump, I really did. I really thought they were going to do it. Now, that $3 million bump up to $76 million could save the Capitals this coming season. Could save them from having to strip it all down, because they'll be able to keep at least one extra player through that extra $3 million. No. It means that for teams who are looking at buying out players, they got to think it over. Marian Hossa is a popular candidate for buyout. Do you know how much money Chicago saves next year if they buy out Marian Hossa? $600,000. It goes up after that, but for this coming season, it'd be $600,000. It's not worth buying out Hossa. And it's a cap hit. His actual salary is only $1 million. So there's literally no point in buying out Hossa. And that sucks. Now, for fans of teams that are at or near the cap, this summer just got a lot tougher. And I honestly don't know. I honestly think we're getting into the state now where a lockout is possible the next time this CBA is up. Look, we've got a flat salary cap, so players aren't going to make more money. The NHL isn't going to make more money. Vegas is going to help. Vegas coming in will probably bump up next year's cap because there's more money coming into the league. But you've got the Olympics that the players seem to be willing to fight for, even though they didn't fight for it in this CBA when it was being negotiated. Escrow's got them angry. They didn't fight to keep that out of this one either. I have a hard time feeling sorry for either side, to be honest. It's millionaires and billionaires fighting out, and the billionaires will almost always outlast the millionaires. Because there are owners who, if the NHL doesn't play, either don't lose very much money, or actually they have more money because the teams lose money. I know there's payments, there's equalization payments that come in, but there are plenty of owners in the NHL that are like, we'll just let the building sit empty and we'll just let them sit at home. Screw them. And it is hard to feel bad for players who are making $5 to $7 to $8 million a year. It is hard to feel bad for guys making $8 million a year to play hockey. Oh, poor guy. He gets to sit and make money through the union to sit at home and not play hockey. Eventually, this dance is going to cost the NHL. It cost Major League Baseball at one point, and it cost football as well. NFL and Major League Baseball were both hurt through repeated issues between the union and ownership. The NFL made the disastrous decision to bring in replacement players at one point. Major League Baseball canceled an entire season before the NHL did. Major League Baseball and the NFL seem to have it mostly figured out. That labor disputes and work stoppages hurt fans and hurt their bottom line. The NHL's bottom line is flat, and there's probably a number of reasons. I suspect the precipitous drop of the Canadian dollar has injured the NHL's bottom line. The Canadian dollar, last time I looked, when I'm buying online, I'm only getting 72 cents on the dollar. It's getting bad. It's getting to the point where I'm like, I'm just going to shop on Canadian websites. It's almost to that point. If it goes below 70, then it's at that point, and I'll stop doing any kind of eBay shopping at all outside of Canadian sellers. Don't judge me. I got this from Yvonne. We went to David's Tea together. Everybody complains that I drink pop all the time, so I'm going to get David's Tea, and now I'm going to get comments about that. My opinion is this. A flat cap means there's going to be some creative contracts to get around a flat cap. There could be more buyouts. There could be more veterans who have to take smaller contracts if they want to stay in the NHL. And we could see more and more rookies making it on their entry-level contract simply because it saves the team money. It's all about saving money. The question is, at what point when all of these things that are lining up to potentially cause another labor stoppage, at what point do the fans tune out? After Major League Baseball's last outage, and everybody praises Major League Baseball for resolving it and for not having labor stoppages for the last long time, ticket sales were in the toilet after the last labor stoppage by Major League Baseball. Fans turned away in droves. The hit was on both players, who were viewed as extremely greedy, and owners, who were viewed as extremely greedy. The NHL dodged that. I don't know how coming out of the last lockout, because there was a lot of anger during the last lockout, and there was tremendous anger after a season was lost in 2004, 2005. There were so many angry. I was a fan as well that said, you know what, I've lived without hockey for a year. I don't know if I'm going to bother watching it when it comes back. I've kind of enjoyed not having to watch it on TV all the time. I got other things to watch. The NHL doesn't want to end up like Major League Baseball did, and here's why. Major League Baseball clawed and dug its way back based on the fact that it is America's pastime. It's not America's sport anymore, and it's not America's sport anymore because the NFL took that. And the NFL, I don't know if the labor stoppages made a difference, but it didn't help baseball. It just didn't. In October, when you're supposed to be watching a World Series, instead everybody was gearing up on the NFL. NFL took full advantage. The NBA too. The NBA has had its issues with labor stoppages. The NHL can't be the only league going through this because I've already discussed in other videos, and it's been discussed elsewhere as well. Their standing in the States is a precarious one. There are certain non-traditional markets that if the NHL disappeared for a year, you can't guarantee they're coming back. Your hardcore fans your casual fans are probably going to be like, oh, screw them. They stayed out for a year. I'm done. I'm going to go watch baseball. I'm going to go watch football. I'm going to go watch something else. They can't afford another stoppage. And to me, the flat cap is another warning sign. Because somebody's getting mad somewhere. And this summer, you're going to see owners push to a salary cap they can't afford, and you're going to see players push to take contracts that they feel are beneath them. It's going to be an interesting summer. Let me know what you think about the flat cap in the comment section below. Hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. And let's hope the NHL gets its crap together. It really, honestly, I think if Bettman and Daly weren't the guys in charge, I think the players would feel a lot better. Because let's be honest, those concussion emails that came out in the spring, for me as a player, I don't trust a word they say based on what I read in those emails. And I guarantee most players will have read those emails. They're pretty damning evidence. Because it states the NHL's position on anybody who crosses them. But for the NHL right now, they're not in a position to afford this kind of thing. Again, let me know what you think. Who could succeed Bettman? What could fix this? Because clearly and the Olympic thing too, and the way the NHL's framing it and phrasing it, there's a lot of mistrust on both sides right now. And it's starting to feel really, really familiar. Starting to feel like the early 2000s. And that's not good. Throw in the fact that the game has kind of started bringing in a lot of clutching and holding and high sticks and stick work. And it's really feeling like the early 2000s where the game was kind of broken too. And you can't tell what the goal is anymore, and referees are blowing whistles at random times, and there's all kinds of crap going on that's just weird. Offside goals are baffling, and early 2000s. For those of us who are old enough to remember everything leading up to that lockout, you got to be at least a little nervous. Let me know your thoughts. Thanks for watching.